Hello, friend. This is Ryan Hicks of TalkToProfit.com, and I want to talk to you today about if you believed that you received something when you prayed, as Jesus said in Mark chapter 11, verse 23, then will you be miserable when you manifest the thing that you were praying for? So, a viewer had this question about if you receive something when you pray, you believe that you received when you prayed, before it's actually manifested in your tangible reality. They wanted to know if you believe that you received that thing beforehand, wouldn't you be miserable because you already believed it was received, so you will feel disappointed and down? The answer to this is no, absolutely not. Not only will you not feel disappointed or down, you will continue to be in a good, high vibrational state that you had already been in because you had already believed you received. You don't get mad when you order something and then you receive it a few days later. That's essentially what you're doing. You're placing an order. You know it's received already. It may take some time to get to you, but it's done. You don't get mad about it. And when you get it, go, oh, well, I already believed I received that. No, of course not. You just continue to move forward and progress to getting even better blessings. You will not be disappointed because you are experiencing the realization of what you were already living in mentally. You're already in that position of believing you received, believing you were that person who could have that thing and did have that thing. So the manifestation of what you believed for, that you received already when you prayed, is just a continuation of the good vibration feeling that you were experiencing before you received it, when you first believed it. Because that's the only way to get the tangible result anyway. When you believe you receive, that means you have to put that feeling, that true belief. If you believed you received something, how would you feel? How would you act? How would you talk? How would you speak about that thing? It would be totally different than if you didn't believe you received. So when you set forth and you believe for something, and you believe that you received it, when the tangible manifestation comes in your life and it becomes a reality, that's a great blessing. That's a confidence builder too in your faith. It builds your faith to know you can receive better and more things. You can do more with your faith. You're not just aimlessly hoping for something, hoping if you try this and I try that, maybe something will happen, maybe some blessing will come, maybe I'll stumble into some manifestation of something I want. No, you're tuning into that creative power that God's given you to live the reality you want to live. Not the reality that the world is telling you to live, not the reality some church is telling you to live, not anything like that. You as a unique individual created in the image and likeness of God can create the reality that you want. A good reality based on good things, not things you don't want. And this is why it's so important to believe that you received when you prayed. You don't set out to not believe, to just hope. You know, that old idea of hoping and praying going together, that gets no results. At best, you just can hope by some chance and luck and circumstances that something works out in your favor. But that's not the way you want to live. You don't want to live by chance, by luck, by happenstance. You want to live a creative life in the image of God, doing like He does. When you say something, it happens. When you experience that reality, you decree a thing and see it be established unto you. That's the kind of life you want to live. Not this life that's tossed about to and fro. Not this life that's ruled by circumstances. Not this life that's ruled by the whims of other people. But a life where you are in control, under God, who's given you that power to be in control. And sometimes people get frustrated with that because they think, well, no, God's in control. Really? God's in control? You look around this world and say, that's the product of my loving Father in heaven? Of course not. Humans have been given control, given a blessing to operate like God, Unfortunately, they use it so often against themselves and against their fellow person. Instead of walking in love and being compassionate, being like Jesus, they instead be like some person they look up to, or what their father or their mother was, or somebody they grew up around. And consequently, they get the same experiences of those people. The same negativity, the same problems, the same obstacles. It just becomes like a duplication of that person. You almost become a clone of them. But if you're going to be a clone of anybody, if you're going to follow anybody, be an imitator of anybody, be an imitator of God. Follow Jesus. Jesus showed you the Father. Be like Jesus. As Ephesians chapter 5, verse 1, be an imitator, be a follower of God, like dear children. Like a child follows their father around, imitates their mannerisms and behavior and speech. You do that. So like God, you speak forth things, you decree things, and you see them be established. You're not doubting, you're not wavering, you're not hoping and praying in the sense that you're just throwing things out there and hoping magically something happens because you're just relying on chance, you're relying on luck, you're relying on circumstances. No, you're not relying on any of those things. You're relying on the living God who's given you the power to get wealth, given you the power to walk in love, given you the power to live an abundant life, giving you the power to be joyful. And every good thing, He's given you that power. But it's up to you to take it up. You can do like the world and use it against yourself, use it against your fellow person, or you can rise up in faith, believing that you received when you prayed, and you will receive whatsoever you say. That's the kind of life you want to live. The life being like God, being an imitator of God, being as close to being like Him as is possible for you as a finite being. And when you do that, and you receive the manifestation of the thing that you believed you received when you prayed, you will just continue in that glory, continue in that blessing, continue in that high vibrational state, constantly moving forward and becoming more, doing more, and having more. My friend, I pray this is a blessing for you. May God bless you richly.